Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling at the moment? Today's topic is on self-assurance, which is being able to validate yourself, to back yourself up, to be sure and to not doubt yourself. And self-assurance is really important because a lot of us feel the need to have validation from other people, to know that we're doing okay, we're doing the right thing. And when you base your progress on other people, everyone has their own ideas and opinions, so it can be very, very shaky. You need to be the measure of your own success. And self-assurance is a great way to practice your autonomy, which means being your own person and making well-informed decisions and taking responsibility for who you are and what you do and what you say. And self-assurance is the process of building confidence. When you learn more about yourself, when you become a bit more sure about yourself, when you stop doubting yourself as much, your confidence level will increase. And it will increase because you validate yourself. You don't need others to tell you that you're beautiful, that you're smart, that you're amazing, because you know that within yourself. And the things that you don't like, you can change. And we practice that through self-assurance, to be able to have our own ideas, our own opinions, and to practice and express them every single day. And this is how we build confidence, by being sure within ourselves and not to have this shaky foundation of self-concept and not knowing how to identify ourselves. And it builds confidence. Self-assurance builds confidence. And self-assurance also dissolves doubt, because when you become more self-aware, when you start to understand yourself a bit better, when your confidence increases, you'll find yourself doubting yourself less and less. And the more you reinforce self-assurance and the less you reinforce self-doubt, the more self-assured you will become and the more confidence you will build over time. And self-doubt is a major issue in mental health, because even though we can do something, we believe we can't because we're insecure. And that insecurity is what stops us from having good self-assurance and to be self-assured. And self-assurance builds self-concept and self-esteem, because you become more aware of who you are and what you're feeling. And when that doubt does start to dissolve, you start to feel better about yourself, because when you doubt yourself, you don't feel good about yourself. You don't see anything good in yourself. But when you build your self-concept and you're able to define yourself, and you're able to say, I'm a loving person, I'm a kind person, I'm a bubbly person, and you start seeing all those really good qualities about yourself. And that's when you start being able to define who you are. And because of that, you start to feel better about yourself. Self-assurance has a direct link to the development of self-concept and the development of self-esteem. And whether you have a healthy self-esteem or whether you have a low self-esteem. And self-assurance is all about validating yourself. When you need to make a decision and you are not sure, you need to be the first person that you consult. Because no one is in control of your decisions but you. And when you validate yourself, you assure yourself, you become sure of what you want, what you say and what you do, and you become more confident in that. So that validation is important, that it comes from yourself, but in a healthy way and not in an ignorant way, to say that you can do all of these things but you can't at the moment. You need to level up a bit more. So it's about validating yourself and backing yourself up. And when you're not so sure, you're there to be your own support, And that's what's so important about self-assurance, is you become your own support. And a great way to practice self-assurance is to practice affirmations, to reinforce good things about yourself, to reinforce good feelings about yourself. Practice affirmations, but don't just make an affirmation. Actually live up to that affirmation. Assure yourself of that affirmation. And it could be anything. It could be, I need to love myself more. Then you practice loving yourself more. The thing is with affirmations, they only work when you back them up with action. So yes, have your affirmations on why it's important to validate yourself and reassure and motivate yourself. Self-assurance is when you're not so sure about something. You reassure yourself and you think to yourself, oh man, but I can't do it. Then you reassure yourself and you say, but what if I try? What if I do it anyway? What if I taste myself? What if I challenge my limitations? And it's about motivating yourself to become more self-assured. It's about being able to create that motivation for the things that you don't really feel like you're in the mood to do. But when you validate yourself, you start to motivate yourself more as well. And you get confidence from that. And that reinforces more motivation. And it's important with self-assurance because we're so hard on ourselves that even when we do something right or we achieve something, we don't see our success. We don't see that we have achieved something. Instead, we doubt ourselves and we bring ourselves down. So it's important to recognize your progress. And by that, I mean any little successes. Remember, success doesn't have to be on a large scale. It could be, oh, I woke up an hour earlier today. That is a success. And it's important that you realize how far you've come. Because if you don't think about how far you've come, then you're not motivated to keep moving forward. Then you're not motivated to make the changes. So always recognize your progress. And always encourage yourself for that, and always realize how far you've come, because you are not where you were years ago, and for that you should be proud. For that you should be very impressed with yourself, and you should keep that going by reinforcing it every day. And the thing about self-assurance is we tend to base our feelings on how other people validate us or reassure us, and that could cause emotional havoc. So self-assurance helps you to not depend on others to feel okay. You depend on yourself to feel okay. You don't depend on other people to make you feel okay, because you are able to stabilize and self-regulate and emotionally regulate. So it will be easier for you to self-manage than for you to go to someone and say, oh, am I okay? Because the answer is not always going to be yes, because everyone has their own internal worlds, their own way of feeling, and if they're not in a good place, they're not going to tell you that you're in a good place. And that's what's so important to understand. And self-assurance creates self-awareness. When you're sure and you are assured and you have the confidence and the motivation, you become more aware of what's going on in your mind. You become more aware of your own autonomy, your own responsibility that you need to take for yourself, and you start understanding your mind better and the relationship with yourself better. And because of that, you build insight, you build knowledge, and you build wisdom. And self-assurance is what builds strength and resilience, because you have to constantly rely on yourself. And because of that, you have to increase your strength every single day in order to be able to rely on yourself, because you can't rely on someone who is weak. You want to rely on someone who is strong. So it's important to build your resilience through self-assurance. And the amazing thing about self-assurance is it makes you more confident in your decisions, yourself, and your healing. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that stunning person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.